In today's Leeds news, Turgeman update, Red Bull further investment, Salzburg director on Wober, and Meslier could leave in the summer. Good morning, folks. Jerry here at The View on Wednesday morning, the 18th of December. Hope you're all doing well. There's a bit of stuff to get stuck into. Last night, just to give you an update, we spoke to Tony Brown, who has been involved in bringing the Leeds legends to Ireland, and gave us some detail on the charity match that's happening in Bray on May 10th and how you can get tickets for that. There are details and links down below, so you can check that out if you want it. Tonight at 7 o'clock, myself and Lockie will be looking at Leeds' away record this season in a little bit more detail and a tactical breakdown of what's been going on with the away form versus the home form. You can check that out later on this evening, but we'll crack on with the news today. And there's an update on Turgeman coming into Leeds United. Before we've talked an awful lot on this channel about pinch of salt from sources and reporters around the UK and Europe. When it comes to this story, there's a little bit more meat on the bones because this one's come from the Daily Mail, and since the 49ers have taken ownership of Leeds United, the Daily Mail appear to be the mouthpiece of the club when it comes to getting information around players or deals out into the public sphere. They've been pretty much on the money with everything they've put out so far, so this one to me has a lot more credibility. So according to the Daily Mail online, Leeds have a genuine interest in Turgeman and are weighing up whether to bring that player in or a different player in January. They claim the 21-year-old has been on Leeds' radar for quite some time, but they have other options available to them and are considering whether it's Turgeman or someone else that they make the move for. The Mail says that Leeds want to bolster the forward line in January to sustain a push for promotion, and that Patrick Bamford could leave the club in the winter window as well. The other option for Leeds United, according to the Mail, is the recently linked Louis Barry, but he comes with an awful lot more competition for his signature and has only played at League One level. Turgeman can play in several positions, and that would appeal to Leeds United and how Daniel Farke likes to operate with players. He can play on the left, he can play slightly deeper, but number 9 and forward is very much his main position. His reputation over in Israel League right now is said to be one of a high work rate player, and his manager has commented on his work rate before and has said about the player that he is a beast on the pitch. This is the first really credible story around Turgeman that's come from a source that have been accurate with Leeds United stories in the past. And whether Leeds move for Turgeman or somebody else, the fact that the Mail are claiming that Leeds will look to increase their forward line in January, and the conversation around Pat Bamford, leads me to believe that Leeds are genuinely interested in bringing in an attacker in this January window, which will be music to a lot of Leeds fans' ears, and myself personally included. I think as much as Leeds need a number 10, I think they also need a different profile of number 9 for certain games. So great to see that that's possibly popping up, and we'll see where it goes from there. Moving on to some Red Bull news, and Leeds minority owner Red Bull have changed their approach recently when it came to footballing investment. Under their previous management, Red Bull only invested in sport if they owned the organisation or could buy the organisation in full. Since the change of management, Red Bull have softened their approach and have changed their model to be more of a wider investment model, having 6 Premier League clubs as part of their drinks partnership deals for the very first time, and also buying a stake in Paris FC similar to the stake that they bought in Leeds United. Now, according to City AM, they claim that Red Bull are set to increase their footballing investment footprint, and Leeds could be in the mix with this. City AM claim that they have learned that Red Bull are cutting some of the funding that they put into other sports in order to increase the amount of money and their focus on football. Under Jurgen Klopp's new role as the Red Bull head of soccer, this report claims that the drinks company are preparing to double down on their footballing investments. Paris FC are Red Bull's 7th involvement in footballing club ownership, a minority stake there similar to Leeds. And this report claims that Red Bull may now look to increase its foothold in Leeds United. If Leeds are successful in promotion to the Premier League, this would increase the revenue coming into the club that would help Leeds to put a team on the pitch that is capable of sustaining themselves in the Premier League, and might also back up the promises made by the 49ers to back Daniel Farke should he steer Leeds United to promotion to the Premier League. There'll be question marks around how big that gets. It's not a guarantee investment increase in Leeds United, but they say that as part of this they could look to increase it slightly. If they want to put more money into Leeds, that's a way of doing it. A small investment increase could give more cash to Leeds United to spend on, and the revenue as the PSR stuff kicks in again next season could be important to Leeds United. But again, always important to keep one eye on what's going on behind the background with Red Bull. At the moment, no danger, but there could be down the road, and it's worth just keeping an eye on, but not ignoring the need for cash to get Leeds into the Premier League. Moving on to another story, but probably sticking slightly with Red Bull, and this one relates to Red Bull Salzburg and the Max Wober situation. Red Bull CEO may have poured cold water on a move from Max Wober from Leeds to Salzburg last week, but it doesn't appear that Red Bull sporting director Schroeder has got the memo on that one. Speaking to Leola 1, Schroeder spoke again about Max Wober and says that the Austrian outfit are likely to make a move for the player in January, but could be priced out of a move, but says there is money on the table. Whether they can afford to pick that up or not remains to be seen. And he said the following: Wober is one of 3 centre-backs at Leeds and they have maximum ambition to get into the Premier League. It will be difficult to put money on the table. Now, not a hot stock at the moment, but that's got nothing to do with the player. He's top. We might have to bake smaller roles or even make a clever loan transfer. I still believe it's incredibly unlikely that Max Wober goes anywhere in January, mostly due to the fact that Leeds are pretty light across the back line, and the back line has been tested recently with the injuries to Isaac Schmidt, then injuries to Max Wober himself, Junior Firpo picking up a suspension and an injury, and the constant worry about Sam Byram's minutes over the course of a week. So I don't see Max Wober going anywhere in January. Leeds are not in a position to sell the player or loan the player out unless Leeds can bring in more money for the player, which I don't think is likely in January. And moving on to another story that came out over last week, and some details on this, and Leeds United's goalkeeping situation will be the hot topic of conversation in January and coming into the summer. According to Sky Sports and TalkSport reporter Dan Bardell, he believes Leeds United will look to sell Illan Meslier in the summer, but not before then. According to Jeunesse Photo in France last week, they claimed that Stade Rennes could make a move for the Leeds United shot stopper in January, but because Leeds are unlikely to get the level of replacement they want in January for the player, it is very unlikely the player will go in that window, but could still go in the summer. The £15 million figure that was touted last week as well apparently is wide of the mark, and Bardell reckons it could be significantly less than that, and he said the following: I don't think there's game-changing money for Leeds here. I think they will be lucky if they got 10 million for him. That would be my thinking. He did go on to talk about the money Leeds brought in from Gray, Somerville and Jorginho in the summer, and how that was described as game-changing money, but says that Leeds were to sell the player back to France, there will be a significant drop in the amount of money Leeds will bring in. Several outlets now over the last couple of weeks have covered stories that suggest that Leeds United will move Illan Meslier on in the summer and will likely bring in a replacement for the goalkeeper then. As I say, it's unlikely to happen in January. There are some reports of a Caoimhín Kelleher link over the last couple of days. I would put that very much to the back of your mind. Unless Leeds United get promoted to the Premier League, Caoimhín Kelleher is not coming anywhere near Leeds United. He is not dropping to the Championship after having the start of the season there is heavy interest in the keeper from Chelsea as well. So Caoimhín Kelleher won't be going anywhere in that direction towards Leeds in January at the earliest. If Leeds can get promoted to the Premier League and the player is still at Liverpool, it's the obvious move for Leeds to make to sort out that backline. But Kelleher isn't without mistakes as well, and that should be said. He's a very good keeper and probably a higher stock than Meslier, but does have the odd mistake in him as well because he is still a young goalkeeper, and you get that with them. And folks, that will be it for me today. We are back tonight 7 p.m. for the breakdown with Lockheed Leeds to look at Leeds' away record this season. You can check that out later on if you want to, or you can listen to last night's podcast around the Leeds United Legends games that's coming to Dublin, and Tony Brown giving us the detail on what the game is about, who it's for, and what players have been announced. Matthew Kilgallen has also been announced this weekend as well for the game, so you can add him to the list of players that will be coming over, as well as some more big announcements planned for the next couple of weeks. And keep your ear to the ground. We'll have it here when we get it from Tony as well. Folks, that's going to be it. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you tonight. See you. Bye.